Lamont Benjamin, track and field, 1994 through 1998. It means a lot though. It's truly a pleasure. And I've been looking forward to it for quite some time. And one of my dreams. Since I've been back, a whole lot has changed. We didn't have all this when I was running, but it's good to see that the school is on upgrade. My last year, winning outdoor championships, 100, 200, just finished off my year with a blast.
When I was asked to speak on Lamont's behalf, I was kind of racking my brain, what do I say? I could talk about the great numbers that he put up, the times that he ran and everything, and I said, nah, that's not what I remember most about my time with Lamont. What I remember most is Lamont was just the ultimate competitor. And it came out in a lot of good ways. He wasn't just someone who wanted to get out there and do stuff on race day. He would do whatever he needed to put himself in the best possible shape. If I said, Lamont, you needed to work on your flexibility, he didn't argue about it. He didn't sit there and say, I don't want to stretch. Lamont would go out there and he would make sure he got it done. If he needed to change up his strength work, he would do that just to get better. And the head coach at the time was also a sprinter. And he was pretty good. This was a guy who had some small endorsement, and he was still competing post-collegiately. So occasionally he would jump into a workout with Lamont. And I remember one day, Lamont took it to him in practice. Just took it to him. And at the time, Lamont had 2 young daughters, and he would occasionally bring them to practice. And that day, he reaches into the diaper bag, whips out a diaper, slaps it to the head coach, and says, "You get the diaper award for stinking up the track today." He didn't care who he raced against, he would go hard. He didn't care how hard he had to practice, he would do it because he wanted to be the best. And years later, he came back as our graduate assistant, and after watching a couple of practices, he came back to practice with a pacifier, which he had on a string. And for the rest of that season, he would hand out to the guys the pacifier award to the guy who was the biggest baby in practice. He was just all about competing and all about sharing that competitive fire, that passion for the sport. And it is such an honor today to see him inducted into this Hall of Fame because we knew it was coming. I have to tell you that when we first started the Hall of Fame, I got the call from Lamont saying, "When am I getting in?" So Lamont, it took a while, but here you are today, and I'm so, so proud of you. So honored that you were a part of our program. Thank you.
I'm not a man of many words, but I'm real happy to be here today. And just a little something about myself. When I came to Long Island University back in 1995, I was a student at Southern University. And actually my mother lives here, so I wanted to be closer with her. So I said, man, not too many schools was around, so I wanted to be close to her. I said, what's this school right here, LIU? I walked in, they didn't have this auditorium was here. That's about it. And I walked up to the 4th floor of this building, but actually you could walk up faster than an elevator at the time. And went seeing Coach Pete. He said, I want to run track. I said, who are you? I said, my name is Lamont Benjamin. I'm from Louisiana. He said, what times you run? I told him what times I ran. I told him, he said, what about your grades? I said, my grades are right. He said, well, I'm gonna call and check this out. Everything pans out. I can get you a scholarship. I said, that's okay. Gave him my name, my number, went home. The phone rang about 30 minutes later. Where are you? I said, I'm at home. You supposed to call me at, right? He said, can you come back up here right now? I said, sure. Come back up. He said, you really ran these times. You have some good grades. When are you ready to start? I said, I want to stay here. So that's how I got here at LIU. And just to top it off on everything, it wasn't like the facility where I came from, it wasn't nowhere near it at the time. But it's just that I made the best of it. And the true beauty of it all is that, you know, as it grew, I felt like I grew with it. And I didn't give up, and they never gave up on me. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to accept the award, happy to be in the Hall of Fame. And I made a promise to myself that I was a sprinter, and my race only lasts 10 to 20 seconds. So I have exceeded my time. But other than that, thank you very much. I'd like to say Mr. Lamont, Mr. Suarez, Richard, Julia, umpire. Oh, you should have walked me up. I ain't forget about you. But I'm happy to be here to see some familiar faces from the past and some new faces that I hope I see in the future. Thank you.